This weekend, the latest film from the director of Barbarian drops in theaters. This film has built up a ton of buzz over the last couple of weeks because it maintained a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with over 50 reviews counted. And as of right now, it has a 95% with over 100 reviews counted. So I went into this one very excited. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Let me know your excitement level for Weapons, and if you've seen it, what did you think about it? Give me that point of reference. What did you think about Barbarian? As for me, I loved Barbarian a few years back. It was in my top 10 favorite movies of 2022. And for the press screening for this one, the PR company did something really fun. They rented out like an old school because the movie involves school kids disappearing. And then outside of it, they had people standing there creepily. When the movie was out, they had children running around in creepy fashion. They handed us soup and bells as we went in. It was this whole kind of immersive experience. They had red lights in the rooms. So just a really fun way to watch the movie, though it was also a very cramped theater. So we're like tucked into this small little performing arts center where they played the film. But a memory nonetheless, and let's get started with the review. And simply put, Zach Cregger has done it again. If you enjoyed Barbarian, you're probably going to have a great time with this movie. And if you enjoyed the idea of Barbarian and the storytelling style, but maybe didn't fully enjoy all of the twists and turns, you definitely should also give this movie a try because it follows the same kind of storytelling techniques that he used with Barbarian, where it's kind of chapter-based, that it will follow an individual character and give their perspective on the events that are taking place and ends on a cliffhanger and then kind of takes you to a different character and retells the events of this story from their perspective. And so you're kind of hopping around trying to piece together, like, how do these narratives intersect? What's kind of going on in this town? But at the core of what's happening, as you see in the trailer, the basic setup, this is the first 2 minutes of the movie, is that 17 school children disappeared from the same classroom at a school, and the teacher and one student remain. And obviously this wrecks the community, but creates a bunch of paranoia and questions surrounding the teacher and the student. And so the story picks up a month later, trying to figure out what happened. And who's to blame, where are the kids, and playing out the grief of the city, playing out the pain of the city from everyone's perspective. Like, how would a parent respond to this? How would this teacher, who she herself faced tremendous loss and now has all the fingers pointed at her? Well, how would this kid respond? How would the police respond? So there's horror, there's intrigue, there's mystery, there's this kind of exploration of trauma, grief, how we respond to it, how communities respond to things like that, all while also being really funny. Like, it has a really sharp sense of humor to it that is, without undermining the tension, without cheapening the story that's being told, it's able to break the tension, add like really solid laughs all throughout the entire movie, while never compromising the weight of the story being told. It's also able to give you a series of characters that in many ways are at odds with each other, but you're fully on board with each of them. You understand why a parent feels the way they feel. And everything that they do that kind of frustrates you is motivated by the purest of motives. Love for a child, the need for answers. And characters that you really feel bad for because of the situation that they're in, they also are deeply flawed. And so they're all multi-layered characters that are kind of fascinating. And even some of the characters that may just make bad choices independent from the main story kind of going on, they give you enough insight into the day of their life, the journey that they've been on, to where you feel bad for them. You understand the compromised choices that they make all along the way. Because of the 1-2-3 punch of a central mystery that's actually intriguing, characters that you actually care about and you're invested in their journey, and storytelling techniques that constantly leave these little cliffhangers and clues, it's able to build to this crescendo at the end of it where all the stories merge together, little elements that are revealed all along the way. You piece it together and get this just bonkers, crazy third act that is the proper fulfillment of the movie that you've been watching all along the way. And it's so satisfying as it happens, while also being like, I can't believe that we're going this far with the movie that we're making right now. Like, they are absolutely going for it. It's the kind of movie that you want to know as little as possible going into it. So this will be a shorter review than a lot of my reviews. And for me, all I knew going into it was basically the one sentence summary about kids disappearing at 2:17 in the morning. And that was just about it. And that's the best way to experience this film. Just know it's heavily kind of a thriller investigation story with horror elements thrown into it. There's dream nightmare sequences, there's jump scares, there's when it goes gory, it can go really gory. There's a couple things that had me absolutely squirming. There's multiple things in the third act where you're like, whoa, wow, they went for it in this one. It can be funny. So it's very much a genre blender. It's not 100% pure horror. It's not pure thriller. It's certainly not pure comedy, but it blends them all together while also, like I said, having like deep character work where you're really invested in the journey of the individuals. If I were to say a few negatives in here, first one is that because it is doing kind of this chapter structure following certain characters, there are certain characters you're more invested in that are more pivotal to the grander plot than others. So there's a couple of them that you're like, I can't wait till we get back to these other characters and pay off that cliffhanger. There's a little bit of that in here. And then tying into some of the ultimate resolution, there's a little bit of, you have to be able to suspend some disbelief for the plot to be able to unfold in regards to what would and wouldn't have been figured out by people in the city prior to the events of the story that we're telling, at the timeline of the story that we're telling it. So there's a little bit of that of like, I think they needed to do a little bit more to explain how this hadn't been noticed beforehand. But otherwise, as someone that really liked Barbarian, that went into this one with really high expectations, it delivered what I wanted. A unique cinematic experience that could be intriguing, explore ideas, have some nice scares in there, make me laugh, make me squirm in my seat, and deliver a bonkers third act that was so satisfying. If you liked Barbarian, or if you like the trailers for it and you're just intrigued, you're probably going to have a great time with this movie. Overall, it's an A- on the entertainment scale, an 8.5 out of 10. And if you're interested, go see it in the theater before it gets spoiled for you. You want to see this one knowing as little as possible. You don't want your friends telling you anything like that. Go check out this movie. And it's an original film. I want more original films winning. Looks like it's going to have a great big opening weekend. I love to hear it, in particular for a movie like this that's so smart, so well crafted. So hopefully it knocks it out of the park and people love it as much as I did. Thank you for watching, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.